Yo, what is going on, guys? Hope everyone's having a fantastic day today. I hope everybody is enjoying their bye week. Hopefully a lot better than I am because I am still a train wreck right now. Not feeling good at all. Trying to push these videos out as much as I possibly can, but should be very exciting to see what the Eagles are going to be doing this week. This is the bye week. This is where a lot of players are going to be resting this week, but a lot of good updates heading in a really good direction. This bye week is so crucial for the Philadelphia Eagles and what we're going to be doing in this playoff game next week. It is, man, thank God we have this first seed. Thank God. Let's get into all the updates for the Philadelphia Eagles. Should be interesting. Let's go.
We better turn. Because I've seen enough horror movies to know any weirdo wearing a mask is never friendly.
What is going on, guys? Hope everyone's having a fantastic day. So we have some updates. We have our first ever update on Jalen Hurts for this week. Now, Jalen Hurts has been doing some specific work with himself. There's really nothing much. He's not throwing at practice too much. Some ball security drills. Like, there's really nothing much going on. Hurts was at practice. He was practicing. He wasn't full. They didn't do much. He wasn't even throwing much. So don't expect Hurts to throw that much this week. Okay, that's what we all have to kind of bear together here with this, because this is the week where Jalen Hurts, they need to be careful with him and not go too much at practice. Now, after practice, they did interview Jalen Hurts and was asked, quote unquote, how close to the Jalen Hurts that we all know will we be seeing? And Hurts says, quote unquote, I can't give you a number, but that name is that name. That man will be there. So Jalen Hurts is expecting to be 100% by the start of this playoff game. Very excited. That's really good news, guys. I mean, that's awesome. Either or, with injury or not, or with a little bit of pain or pain tolerance or whatever's going on, we're expecting Jalen Hurts to play in this game, and we're expecting this coaching staff to unleash him. Okay, obviously the Giants game was handicapped in that game and was in a lot more pain than we thought he was, that he was going to be a lot more sore after that game. But from what it looks like right now is that this is where we're going to be taking advantage of the time with Jalen Hurts, and it's not going to be much. He's not going to be throwing this much. Hurts did mention that these other quarterbacks are going to get some shots this week with the offenses to keep them prepared for, with Minshew and Ian Book. Which isn't a bad thing. But we all know that Jalen Hurts is going to start in this playoff game at the link, after another week and a half. So it should be awesome, man. I'm really glad that, he's back. We got the first seed. And like I said, whatever happens, guys. Like, if Hurts is already, Hurts is not going to say anything negative, obviously. He's like, oh, no, I'm not ready. He's not going to say that. But the good thing is that we have a lot of time on our side right now. There is plenty of time on our side, because literally they can sit him this whole week. They could sit him half of next week. They could sit him a good amount of time. If the Eagles took care of business a lot earlier, if they beat the Saints, if they beat the Cowboys, if they took care of business a lot earlier, we wouldn't have been in this situation. But we're still in a very good situation with this team, with this quarterback. And the number one thing is to get this man healthy. Do I think if he's still not healthy by the game, do I think they're going to be less aggressive with him? No, I feel like they're going to have to be. They can't take away a read option. They can't take away his legs and expect this offense to just be back to normal. It can't happen. But I am 90% sure that Jalen Hurts is going to be, I would say 95% sure that Jalen Hurts is going to be 100% healthy. And if Jalen Hurts is saying that, his body feels right, his body feels good going forward, I'm all ears, man. I'm excited for him to get back. And like I said, don't panic because he's not throwing this week. This is the week that we need to rest a lot of guys, okay, and get guys healthy. The first seed, that's what it's all about. So I'm really excited. I'm happy for him and just ready to go. So that's the news on Jalen Hurts as of right now and going forward. So we'll have more updates on him later this week. Secondly, Josh Sweat just started to practice, which is fantastic. Started practicing the other day, and Sweat did say that he will be ready for the playoffs 100%. Now, I know there's different grades with these stinger injuries. He did have that neck injury, which really sucked at the time because I figured when he was going to the hospital, it was really bad. Then he put out the tweet. He got out of the hospital, put out that tweet saying he will be playing this year. So he is back, guys. On top of Robert Quinn being back and already did a pretty good job on pressures last game. I thought he did a really good job against the Giants. And, was Robert Quinn even hurt this whole entire time? I'm starting to feel like, was it usage or was it maybe Robert Quinn was dealing with an injury that the Eagles, maybe us fans didn't know about? Maybe it was in secret. I don't know. But Robert Quinn got his first shot back from injury, and, he played really well with the pressures. And top of getting Josh Sweat back, the more players you're getting back for this defensive line, the rotation is going to be great. These players are going to be nice and refreshed after 4 to 5 plays and rotating. It's going to be a lot of fun to see this defensive line go into this playoff game. I mean, we're lock and loaded on this defensive line right now. And just adding Josh Sweat back on top of Robert Quinn already starting to produce is a really good thing. And, definitely, the defensive line definitely misses a beat when Josh Sweat isn't around. But, man, to get him back on top of Quinn being back is going to be huge for this defensive line. So, we're going to see what happens in the near future, but the pressure should be for real, man. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch in the coming days, or at least in the next coming week, to see what this defensive line and how aggressive it's going to be. Now at full force, 100% capacity, this defensive line is at their health right now, which is great. An update for Lane Johnson. He did some work with the trainers today, so a great start for Lane Johnson. I watched some video. He was on the sideline. He was working. I saw him working out and doing some things. So he looked great. He looked fine. He looked good. It's a nice start. It's a really good start. Lane has got that abdominal injury, the tear that he needs to get surgery on, but he's going to play on it. So the rumor is he's going to be on some injections probably for the game to kind of numb some of that pain. Lane Johnson is just a warrior, man. Between trying to play on 2 ankle injuries the last couple years, and then obviously now this with his abdominal injury now, I don't know how long this – I'm hoping he's going to be okay. Can he last more than a game? That's really the only question I have with Lane Johnson. But definitely, with Jack Driscoll not playing well, they really need Lane Johnson back. And if he can last 3 games, it would be amazing. And maybe it's not – it is serious because he needs surgery, but maybe he can hold up, which I think this rest is going to be huge. The first seed is huge because if you didn't have this first seed, we probably wouldn't have Lane Johnson coming back, which I think is going to be very important for this offensive line. I didn't think Driscoll was going to play this bad. We've seen Driscoll play really well in the past, but for some reason, maybe he's more of a right guard than a right tackle. Maybe he's just not that guy at right tackle, at least not the future, at least. Maybe for a nice depth guy to take over for a game, but other than that, I don't think he's starting material, to be honest. I can't believe I'm really saying that, but it's kind of looked that way. And obviously going to the offseason next year, they're going to, I don't even doubt them using one of those first-round picks on a right tackle. No joke, because Lane Johnson's getting up there in age, and he's getting injured and all that stuff. So should be interesting what happens. But I feel pretty good that Lane Johnson is going to be back. Isn't official yet, but is already doing, he wasn't full heading, full pads or anything like that, but some specific work with himself and the trainer. So that's a good start that he's already kind of on the field right now. Lastly, Aaron Sipos, the punter for the Philadelphia Eagles. It looks like he's out of the boot. And he says, and from the news that's been said about him so far, is that he will be back. So I don't know if Sipos will be back for the next playoff game. So I know that Kern guy that we did sign, and I haven't really been a huge fan of him, but, it is what it is. I don't know if Sipos will be back for the next game, or maybe it's one more game after the playoff game. It was I think a lower leg injury or something like that. So we'll see what happens with this as it goes on. I'm not really worried about the punting so much, but, Sipos coming back would definitely be big for us. and we'll see what happens. As for other updates for the Eagles when it comes to Avonte Maddox, we haven't heard anything. I didn't hear anything on Avonte Maddox. There is high praise that he could be back for the playoff game, which would move Chauncey back to safety, which, would kind of take Reed off the field. I hope not, whether to do, 3 safety sets or something like that, if that's what they want to do. But we'll see what happens as the time goes on. If Maddox is not ready this week, definitely you're going to see Chauncey back at nickel for the playoff game, with Reed Blankenship back there at safety, which would be great. So, like I said, at least there's already a plan in motion if Avonte Maddox is not going to be on the field. Plus you have Anthony Harris on practice squad as well, so you have an extra veteran safety on the practice squad. Hence why they brought him in, just to make sure anything happens to this position during the playoffs. Harris can walk right in and play if he has to, which would be great. So other than that, guys, that's pretty much it. I think it's great news. I think we're going in the right direction. It's still early in the process of this bye week. I mean, we're still getting through it, but the number one thing is Lane Johnson getting back, and obviously Jalen Hurts are the 2 number one things I think are very important. Lane Johnson and Jalen Hurts. And Hurts is very optimistic about being 100% by the time he gets back. So it should be great. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below about Hurts coming back. Do you think he's going to be 100% healthy? And what do you think how much rest should they really get between this week and next week? And obviously all the other injuries and a lot of players coming back. So it's a really good sign for the Philadelphia Eagles right now. So other than that, guys, that's pretty much it. I will see you guys on the next one. Shake Squad up, follow, slide. Peace out, guys. Peace.